It was 2:07 a.m. when my phone buzzed on the nightstand. I was drifting in and out of sleep, uneasy because Lena should have been home hours earlier. When I answered, her voice came through soft and carefully measured, almost like she'd practiced it. "I'll be late. Don't worry." But before she could finish, something slipped through. Another voice. A man's. Low, close, unmistakably right beside her. She froze for a fraction of a second, then forced out a nervous laugh, adjusting her tone like nothing had happened. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. "Take your time," I said, dragging out the silence just enough for her to know I heard him. She didn't speak. The pause between us told me more than any excuse she'd tried to invent. When she finally spoke again, it was with a shaky explanation about random guys in a parking lot. Too quick. Too flimsy. Too fake. I didn't argue. I just whispered, "All right," and ended the call. Truthfully, suspicion had already been lingering for weeks. Late-night messages, sudden wardrobe changes, a new distance in the way she talked to me. I had intended to ask her about all of it eventually, but the night seemed eager to reveal its own answers. I got up, grabbed my keys, and stepped into the cold. My mind felt strangely quiet. Not angry, not grieving, just clear. Whatever I found, I needed to see for myself. On the way, I checked her location out of instinct. She wasn't anywhere near her office. She was across town in a neighborhood she'd never mentioned. The calm inside me hardened into something sharper. No calls, no warnings. I wanted the truth without her polishing it first. When I arrived, her signal pointed to a small apartment complex with dim lights glowing behind thin curtains. My heart didn't race. It simply beat with the certainty that whatever waited behind those walls would change everything. The hallway smelled like stale carpet and smoke. I followed the numbers until I reached the door her location matched. Inside I heard laughter. Hers intertwined with a man's. Comfortable. Intimate. The kind she no longer shared with me. I inhaled slowly and knocked. Instant silence. Then frantic whispers, scuffling, furniture shifting. The door cracked open, and there she stood. Lena, hair tousled, cheeks flushed, and wearing clothes she hadn't left home in. Behind her, a shadow slipped further inside the room. Her eyes widened when she saw me calm, hands in my pockets. "It's not what you think," she whispered, voice trembling. I didn't bother replying. I simply held up my phone and played the recording of our call, the man's voice echoing clearly. Her face drained. She stepped out and shut the door behind her as if that could undo everything. She began mumbling excuses, stress, misunderstandings, rough weeks between us. But her words collapsed under their own weight. I stayed silent, letting the truth settle heavily between us. Silence can be a sharper blade than anger. Then the door opened again. The man stepped out, not embarrassed, just irritated. "You said he wouldn't show up," he muttered. Her whole world shattered in that moment. Mine simply aligned. I recognized him from photos she once showed me, a coworker she claimed she barely spoke to. She reached for me crying, but I stepped back. Her touch felt foreign now, like it belonged to someone I no longer knew. "You made your choice," I said quietly. She fell apart instantly, grabbing at my shirt, begging, apologizing, swearing it was all a mistake. Neighbors peeked through their doorways as she sobbed on the floor. The man shifted uncomfortably, wishing he could disappear. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't curse or accuse. I just stood there calmly while she realized the weight of what she'd done. Betrayal doesn't always shout. It often arrives in silence, in truth laid bare. Before I left, I told her the last thing she expected to hear. "You said you'd be late. You just didn't say why." It cut deeper than anything else could have. She crumpled where she knelt, crying uncontrollably as I turned and walked away. Outside, the cold air felt like clarity, like stepping out of a fog I didn't know I was in. I didn't look back. Some endings don't need anger or revenge. Sometimes just walking away with your dignity is the loudest goodbye. By the time I reached my car, I already knew one thing for sure. She was waiting for forgiveness. But all I had left to offer her was the truth.